Unacademy. Let's crack it.
What are the topics which we have planned? From the upper limb, we'll start with the topic is a very, very important nerve. Tell me the largest branch of brachial plexus. The largest branch of brachial plexus is your very good, Rachana. It is your radial nerve, and hence the topic over here is first topic is the radial nerve. First topic is the radial nerve. No, Rahul, its class is minimum for 1 hour. It could normally extend beyond 1 hour. Okay, class minimum for 1 hour. So let us discuss the radial nerve and quickly discuss over here rapid high yield points from here. So as we said, radial nerve is a part of which plexus? Brachial plexus. So have a look at the brachial plexus. This I hope most of you are aware of the brachial plexus. This is how the brachial plexus is divided into a supraclavicular part and an infraclavicular part, that is the clavicle. Supraclavicular part, you have the roots and the trunks. Infraclavicular part, you have the cords, and from these cords you have 3 cords, and one of that cord is posterior cord. So you have 3 cords: a lateral cord, a medial cord, and a posterior cord. And from this posterior cord, which is formed by all the 3 dorsal divisions, dorsal division, dorsal division, dorsal division of upper trunk, middle trunk, and the lower trunk. And as this posterior cord is formed, it gives its continuation, that is your radial nerve. That is your radial nerve. Point clear? It's the largest branch of brachial plexus, that is our radial nerve. So we have seen the brachial plexus over here. That is a nerve plexus supplying all the muscles, the sensory, the motor, and the sympathetic aspect of our upper limb. That is our brachial plexus, and these are various subdivisions of the brachial plexus. Now let us have a quick look over here. This were the 3 trunks: upper trunk, middle, and the lower, and all of their dorsal divisions, posterior divisions, they form this posterior cord, and the posterior cord continues as the radial nerve, which is one of the terminal nerves. Point clear? So here, how to start? This is how the radial nerve actually started. Now radial nerve started from here. What does it do? Radial nerve, let me tell you, radial nerve supplies half of the upper limb. Half of the whole upper limb is supplied by radial nerve. Yes. How half? All the posterior half. Posterior half including the muscles. Okay. Only muscles? No. Including the skin also. So all your sensory sensations and the muscles on the posterior aspect of the arm and forearm and the tendons going over here, they are majorly supplied by the radial nerve. Point clear? So it supplies half. Yes. Extensor part is the half. No, half is the flexor and half is the extensor. So extensor part or the posterior part is supplied with the radial. Therefore, it is the largest branch, having the root value from all C5, C6, C7, C8, and T1. All of these includes the root value of the radial nerve. Okay, that is fine. Then, sir, can we see a radial nerve? It is going into the upper limb. Yes, you can see it over here. Have a look over here and try to correlate it. This is your radial nerve, which started from where? Which started from this posterior cord. This is your radial nerve that starts from the posterior cord. Now tell me, this is the anterior view. You are looking out of the posterior view. Which view you are looking right now? Have a look at it. Anterior or posterior? Answer. This is, you are looking anterior view of the left upper limb or posterior view of the right upper limb? Anterior view of the left upper limb or posterior view of the right upper limb? Yes, it is our, yes, very good. It is the anterior view of the left upper limb. Anterior view of the left upper limb. How to recognize it? Look at the coracoid process. Look at all these things over here, the tubercle, the lesser tubercle, the clavicle going over here, the coracoid, everything. So this is the radial nerve. Now first it will go behind. Where behind? This is your radial groove. This is your radial groove. Radial groove present in the posterior aspect of the humerus. Tell me quickly, radial groove lies between which and which muscles? Dash and dash muscles. Radial groove is between 2 muscles on the posterior aspect of the humerus. Those 2 muscles are lateral head and medial head of triceps brachii. So radial groove is between these 2 muscles, meaning by this is the side where you will have the lateral head, that is the side where you will have the medial head of triceps posteriorly, and the radial groove is over here. Now the radial nerve will pass from posteriorly. Now what we have over here, we have an intermuscular septum. I'm telling you the course right now. You have an intermuscular septum. Radial nerve will pierce it and it will come anteriorly, anterolateral in the cubital fossa. So it now reaches over here. As the radial nerve reaches over here, it divides into a superficial branch of the radial nerve, which is pure sensory, and a posterior introitious branch, which is pure motor. So this over here, posterior introitius, or also known as a deep branch, that is pure motor, and the superficial radial nerve is a sensory nerve. So what happens? Try to understand, guys. The radial nerve over here will supply the triceps or the posterior arm muscles, and as it goes distally, the posterior introitius nerve will supply the posterior forearm muscles, and the superficial branch will supply the dorsal aspect of the lateral part of the head, sensory part, because this is a pure sensory nerve. Point clear? Basic idea. Basic idea is this. This is how the radial nerve goes. This is how the radial nerve goes. Now, there are few aspects of the radial nerve which we also want to know over here, and these are the various branches. Now, let me just correlate over here that there are various branches of radial nerve in the axilla, in the upper limb, and others. Let me just show you a flowchart over here. If you look at this flowchart, everything will be clear. Just let me zoom it and show to you. Have a look at this. This is the radial nerve, and that is the region of axilla. This is the region of axilla. That is the region of arm. And below, if you go, you will see the forearm, and below the forearm, you will have the hand, obviously. Let us start from the axilla part. What happens in the axilla? As the radial nerve is still in the axilla, it gives off a sensory nerve, which is the posterior cutaneous nerve of arm, and it will give off two motor nerves, which will be to the long and the medial head of triceps. This red color is showing you branches coming from the axilla. It tells you that if the radial nerve is injured in the middle of the humerus, normally when there is a mid-shaft fracture of the humerus, we say that radial nerve is at risk of injury because it is in touch with the bone over here. Now, if there is a radial nerve injury in the mid-shaft fracture of the humerus, still there will not be complete paralysis of the extension of the elbow, because these branches are given off in the axilla. Point clear? If there is injury to the radial nerve in the mid-shaft fracture of humerus, still there will be not complete paralysis. There will be weakness only, not complete paralysis of the extension of the elbow, which is caused by triceps, because the triceps has already been supplied by the radial nerve branches in the axilla. Now, as the radial nerve comes into the spiral groove, it will give off branches to the other head, lateral and medial head again, and that medial head one branch that will also go to the anconeus muscle. Now, this, let me show you with this blue color now. Now, these are the branches given off in the arm region. Lateral medial head, brachialis, which part? The lateral part of brachialis. Brachioradialis, then you have ECRL, and also sometimes ECRB is also given up by the radial nerve in the arm. These are the motor branches in the arm, and these two are the sensory branches in the arm. Which two are? Lower lateral cutaneous nerve of arm and your posterior cutaneous nerve of forearm. These two are the sensory branches. Now, this blue color is denoting you the branches given off in the arm. That red color was telling you the branches given off in the axilla, before arm. So therefore, this would be normally be okay. Now, as you go more towards the cubital fossa, as you have already seen, it divides into a smaller branch known as a superficial branch. That is a sensory nerve. So this, let me show you with the purple color. This is the sensory branch over here that will go to the dorsum, lateral part of the dorsum of the hand, around the anatomical snuff box and lateral 2.5 digits. And this is your deep branch, which is also known as posterior interosseous nerve. This is going to supply all the muscles in the posterior part of the forearm. Here you can see the ECRB given over here. Sometimes ECRB may be supplied over here, but normally ECRB is supplied as a posterior interosseous nerve. This is a pure motor nerve. That is a pure sensory nerve. Remember that. Pure motor, pure sensory. This dotted line is showing you the area around the cubital fossa. Dotted line is telling you it is the area around the cubital fossa. Got this point? Now you can see over here where this is superficial branch going. Lateral side of the dorsum of the hand. Lateral 3.5 fingers, lateral 3.5 fingers, or then 2.5 or 3 fingers, something like that. So these are your distributions of the radial nerve. Branches are in the axilla, branches are in the arm, branches are in the forearm, and finally you have no muscles over here, only the tendons supplied, and the sensory branch over here, that is a superficial branch. Point clear? So these are the various courses, and the various branches over here. Now, a couple of things are important. If the radial nerve, as it is passing from here to here, it passes through a space. Name that space. Yes, Rahul, first MCP. First MCP is what? Metacarpophalangeal. Triangular space. Very good. So this space is your which triangular space, guys? Upper or lower triangular space? As it is passing from here, this is the lower triangular space. Very good. So that could be a question, lower triangular space or upper triangular spaces. For that, understand this figure over here. Try to understand from here. This was the space which we were referring to. This is the posterior aspect of the right side of the right shoulder girdle and the right humerus. This is your radial groove. This is your radial groove. That should be the radial nerve passing from here. And this space is the lower triangular space, bounded by what? Bounded by a long head of triceps, a teres major, and the humerus. This is your triangular space. This is your triangular space. What passes along with radial nerve? Anyone? In this space, what passes along with radial nerve? It is the profunda brachii. Excellent answer. Look at the cadaveric image. Look in the cadaveric image. This is the area for the lower triangular space. Long head of triceps, teres major, and that is the humerus. Can you see this nerve? That is the radial nerve branches, and this is the profunda brachii vessel is over here. That is the radial nerve branches. Let me zoom it more. Try to see it clearly. Brachii vessels. These are red color are the brachii vessels, and these are your radial nerve and its branches in the lower triangular space. Fine. So try to understand that also, correlate that also. Now, as it passes through the radial nerve, through the radial groove, it will pierce the septum and look where it comes into the cubital fossa. This is the region where it comes between lying behind what? Behind this brachioradialis. So if you pull back the brachioradialis, then you will see the radial nerve. So the radial nerve was first initially behind, then it pierced this lateral intramuscular septum, and then it came anteriorly over here. This is the location, MBBR. Yes, very good, Kalpita. MBBR, median nerve, brachial artery, biceps tendon, and the radial nerve and its branches. After this, it will give off the deep branch. This deep branch pierces a muscle. Name that muscle. As it has to go posteriorly, it pierces a muscle. The name of that muscle is very good, supinator muscle. It's going to pierce the supinator muscle while going backward, distal to the 3 fingers, distal to the head of radius. If you place your 3 fingers, the first finger at the head of the radius, the third finger is telling you the location where the posterior interosseous nerve is going backward from anterior to posterior. That is the 3-finger rule which you can apply while seeing where the posterior interosseous nerve goes. Finally, we have what? We have the superficial branch of radial nerve which was supplying this part, and let us see the anatomical snuff box also. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. And zooming it over here, can you see the superficial branch of radial nerve? Where it is coming? It is supplying all this area. This is the region of the anatomical snuff box. Here the sensory supply is given by the superficial branch of radial nerve. Now, if someone asks you, okay, superficial branch of radial nerve, where does it run? It is mainly running deep to which muscle? Dash. Answer. Superficial branch of radial nerve runs deep to which muscle? In the lateral aspect of forearm. Which muscle is this? Most laterally in the forearm, you have the brachioradialis. It is lying deep to the brachioradialis. Very good, Vasri. Okay, not FCR. FCR is actually coming from the medial side. Try to understand why. Because suppose this is the anterior forearm, FCR would be coming from here, while brachioradialis is from here. I'm just showing you a hypothetical idea of the muscle. This would be your FCR, and that would be your brachioradialis if you say the medial and the lateral aspect of the forearm. And as the superficial branch of radial nerve was coming from here, it lies deep to this muscle. It can't lie deep to this, because this muscle origin is from the common flexor origin, CFO. Got the point? That's why others. Why not FCR? Why not FCR? Why brachioradialis? Try to understand this. Okay. Very good. This was a brief idea, guys, of this radial nerve, and there are various things. This flowchart is very important. Where you will get the injury, when you will have the loss of extension of the elbow, when you will have the wrist drop, when you will have the finger drop, all depends on the location of the injury. You have from Saturday night palsy, from the crutch palsy to the mid shaft fracture of humerus to your, yeah, couple of the PDF is obviously available, to your cubital fossa fractures. All these areas, this flowchart is very important. Which branch is coming from where? Which branch is coming from where? Okay. So that was a brief idea of the radial nerve. Guys, tell me if the radial nerve is quickly revised or not. In 10-15 minutes, is the radial nerve quickly revised or not? So again, to summarize, brachial plexus, look at the course. Look at the flow chart. 90% of the nerve is over. Brachial plexus, look at the course. Course is very important, and look at the branches of it.